What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Today's Monday's thoughts, something that's been on my mind heavy, and then randomly my sister hits me up about it, and I'm like, this is, something I've already been teaching. Actually, something I've already written about. Make sure you go and get your copy of the 6 A's of Manhood for African American Men. But my thoughts on this Monday are going to be about, can a black man be a king and a nigga at the same time? Can a black man can a black man be a king and a nigga at the same time? Now, my short answer is going to be, it's possible. I can't say it's impossible for somebody to identify as a king and then still identify as a nigga with some other people. So I won't say it's impossible. With that being said, where I've evolved to in life is understanding or focusing on what's beneficial to the entire race and not just an individual. There are some things that I might be able to do that won't affect me, but if I do it, it will affect a lot of other people negatively. So, whereas maybe I might be able to identify as a king and identify as a nigga with certain people and never really venture off to act like a typical nigga, other people won't be able to do that. So, when I look at this whole grand scheme of things, I'm always focused on what's beneficial for our entire race. So now, while I think it is possible, I don't think it's a good thing. And this is why. Firstly, now we all have some kind of concept of what a king is. Now, we might not have the Webster's dictionary definition, but I believe all of us have some kind of idea of what it means to be a king. Now, if we understand what it means to be a king, now I want to know, what does it mean to be a nigga? How do we define nigga? What do we define a nigga as? When I identify as a nigga, when I call somebody who looks like me a nigga, what am I calling them? What am I identifying them with? And I'm going to be flat out honest here. I've used the word for years and years and years, and I've never thought, what am I identifying as? Or what am I identifying my brother as when I call him nigga, or when I accept being called nigga? Now, I understand that if I call another black man king, I'm esteeming him. I understand when I call another black man king, I'm calling him royalty. I understand when I call another black man king, I'm speaking highly of him, and I'm saying he's in a high position. And when I begin to identify myself as a king, I am identifying myself as royalty. I'm identifying myself as somebody on a pedestal. I'm identifying myself as somebody who should be looked up to. But what am I identifying with when I call myself a nigga? And what am I identifying my brother as when I call him a nigga? Now, that's the question that we really need to ask when we're talking about, should we use the word nigga or not? It's not about if the word is wrong. It's not about if the word is right. Yes, we have somewhat taken the word and used it as our own, and we have somewhat used it as a term of endearment, but still, what does it mean to be a nigga? Now, I started off by saying that, I don't know why I always grab my ear when I talk, that's weird. I started off by saying that it's possible, because I can't say it's impossible, it's possible for somebody to identify as a king, live a good life, and still identify as a nigga. It is very possible. But this is the thing. vast majority of the black men I know identify exclusively as niggas and never as kings. Nobody's calling each other king in the hood where I'm from. Nobody's identifying half the time as king and half the time as a nigga. You know, nobody's calling people king sometimes and then calling people nigga sometimes. It's just 100% nigga. So is it possible? Yes, it's possible. But when those of us who are able and understand what it means to be a king and understand what it means to live as a king, when those of us who are able to live as kings and niggas continue to identify ourselves and our brothers as kings, those individuals who only identify as niggas will never venture off into their king qualities. So if I continue to identify as nigga, and if I continue to identify my brothers as nigga, what I'm really doing is making sure that they never identify their kingly qualities. I'm making sure that they never identify their royalty within, because everybody's not able to do these things the way other people are able to do. So can a black man be a king and a nigga at the same time? It's possible, but is that beneficial for our race? You see, we found ourselves in a place where we don't feel that we have any obligation to everybody else. We think the only people that we got to worry about is ourselves and maybe our family. Maybe the people on our block, but most of us don't really care about the kid down the street either. So we don't feel any kind of sense of urgency to have our mindset where we are focusing on what's beneficial for the entire race. Therefore, we will do things that may not affect us, but will affect 10 other people negatively. And so that's why I don't believe it's good for us to continue to identify ourselves as nigga, because there are so many people who exclusively identify as nigga and never identify as kings. And if we don't raise their awareness to the fact that they have kingship, to the fact that they have royalty, and we continue to allow them to identify as nigga, we continue to call them nigga, we continue to allow them to call us nigga, and we never say, well, hold up, don't you know I got some royalty in me? You see, that's what we got to be thinking about. What am I perpetuating by continually to call people nigga? And this is the key, and never ever talking about my royalty. That's the real problem. A friend of mine on Instagram, I asked a question. She said, yeah, we got to have, I asked, you know, can a black man be a king and a nigga at the same time? She says, yes, because we need some balance. Now, again, I don't really know what nigga is. I don't think there's anything positive about the nigga that we use today. That word, I don't think it's anything positive. But let's go with her theory that we need balance. Where's the balance? How often are you hearing black men call black men kings? Where's the balance? It's no balance. It's just nigga, 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 nigga. It's a song like that too. I just heard it. Nigga, 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 nigga. I just heard the song. It's the hook. Nigga, 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 nigga. That's the freaking hook to the song. Woo, they did a number on us. You say, Ash, we need to be rewired? Yeah, we need to be rewired. They did a number on our brain. It's literally a song that the hook just goes nigga, 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 nigga. So now, some of the people in the conscious community I asked this question to, and their response was, yes, we can be a nigga because nigga derives from negus, which is Ethiopian royalty. Now, if that were true, you know, I don't know if I don't think I would have a problem with it. But I don't think the nigga that we use comes from negus, meaning Ethiopian royalty. The nigga that we use comes from nigger. Nobody in America is talking about negus. And if you ask any average black person on the street that identifies as nigga, if he knows what negus is, if he knows that negus means royalty, and if they don't know that it means royalty, then even if it did identify with that royalty, they're not identifying with the royalty. They're identifying with the same nigger the slave master called them. Natalie said, our words hold too much power. not to use them wisely. Yeah, you got to use your words wisely. Again, what does it mean when you call yourself a nigga? That's all I want to know. If anybody says I want to continue calling myself niggas, I want to continue calling my brothers nigga, all I want to know from you is, what does nigga mean? And what are you identifying as? And what are you identifying your brothers as when you call them niggas? And if you can with a straight face tell me, well, nigga means something positive. Nigga means good. Nigga means great. Nigga means powerful. Then I'm going to ask you, how come we talking about, I'm going to blow that nigga off? That nigga ain't shit. Does it still mean powerful then? I mean, is he going to be my nigga, or am I going to hate that nigga? Which one is it going to be? So I don't believe that we should do it again or we should use the word simply because I don't believe it's beneficial for our race, especially our youth. I hear our youth using so many negative words about themselves. I'm walking down the street, on school lets out and stuff like that, and you hear these conversations, and it's like, wow, our youth, man, are being destroyed, and we are helping destroy them because we're not exposing their minds to their potential greatness. We're not exposing their minds to what's really inside of them. We're continually pushing on them the same thing the slave master pushed on us. So again, I say we cannot continue to use these words. We cannot continue to talk and identify as nigga, especially if we can't even understand what it means when we're identifying that nigga. Would you say the term nigga was defined as an ignorant person? We just think it's a term is cool. Yeah. I never liked that word. I refuse to let my grandkids, nieces, nephews, and anyone in my space use it. As you should, cuz we gotta start to cut it out. Because we gotta begin to retrain our mindset to where we get to a place where I'm constantly thinking of my royalty. I watched a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio years ago. I love the movie. It's called The Man in the Iron Mask. And in this movie, a king has a set of twins. And he knows that, when he gets older and when he dies, it's going to be a problem between his twins on who's going to become king when he dies. So he says, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose just one of these twins. He's going to be the heir. And the other son, I'm going to send far out. I'm going to take care of him. I'm going to make sure he has money. And he's going to be cool this way. He never has any beef with his brother. Somehow, the twin that he chose to be king, dude was just vicious killer. Crazy dude. And he finds out he has this twin. And the twin is not even thinking about becoming king or anything. He doesn't even know he's royalty. But he's the evil twin is like, I got to make sure nobody ever finds him and puts him in, he can contest my throne. So he gets him, he throws him in an iron mask so nobody can see his face, right? But then somebody else knows about what's going on, and they don't like this king because he's vicious and he's just a crazy tyrant. And so they have this idea, we're going to take that mask off the other brother, we're going to kidnap the real king, and we're going to put the twin in place of the king. But before, and this is what I love, before they could do that, they had to teach the twin who did not know he was royalty how to act royal. Gotta watch this movie. It took weeks for them to teach him, this is how a king talks. This is how a king walks. This is how a king responds. This is how a king sits on the throne. This is how the king responds to this. And this is how the king responds to that. And he had to learn how to be royal. And this is where we find ourselves at, my black kings and queens. We have to find how we can become royal. We have to learn how to become royal. And to those of us who already have an understanding of what it means to be a royal, that means we got to begin to teach others who don't understand their royalty how to become royalty, or what it means to live out your life as royalty, how to act as royalty. And we don't do that when we call each other a nigga. We're not teaching them how to become royalty. We're not teaching them what it means to be kings. We're teaching them to continue to be what it is that the white man wanted us to, that the Caucasian man, I don't want to call him the white man, that the Caucasian man wanted us to be. And when we get stuck in this thinking and we're not thinking royalty, we live beneath royal potential. So black man, pick up your crown, black man. Look at your reflection in it and see yourself for who you truly are. Stop solely seeing yourself as descendants of slaves and people that's fighting for civil rights, and see yourself as descendants of people who ruled the world. See yourselves from a bloodline with an inheritance of things that are worth more than gold. You got to see yourself as king and understand that it's beneath a king to solely be subject to thinking the only thing that they can do is sell drugs, when with your brilliance, you can do any and everything. It's beneath a king to think that the only thing that you can do is work for somebody else, when you have a brilliance to begin to start your own businesses. It's beneath a king to pick up a gun and kill somebody that looks just like him. Wars are fought between kingdoms, not corners. Wars are not fought between gangs. Wars are fought between kingdoms. And if you want to go to war, then get a kingdom. Build a kingdom and start up a war that way. But there should never be a war between corners, because wars are fought between kingdoms. Build your kingdom, black man. It's beneath a king to disrespect his queen, and most importantly, to allow other people to disrespect their queens. How can we allow this? What's that new video with what's the guy? I popped a Molly, now I'm sweating. What's the dude's name? Trinidad James, right? He got a video with a white guy in it. Now the white guy is in there degrading all the black women that are in the video. He got his face in between their butts and calling them names. We are now even let Caucasian men start these videos, and black men, that is beneath a king to allow anybody to disrespect your queen. It's beneath a king to walk out of the lives of their children and force our women to raise children that never received masculine love. We never help them out. That's beneath your kingdom. But as long as you're identifying as a nigga, those things are going to be okay. It's beneath a king to be self-destructive. For a king to not put his kingdom first, for you to not put your race first, that is beneath a king. But as long as you're a nigga, you can only be focused on what you want, and you won't help your race. And this is why we cannot continue to identify as niggas. It's time for us to realize our royalty. It's time for us to realize who we really are and what it means to really be an African-American man, or African in America, or a black man, a Negro, a Moor, a Hebrew Israelite, whatever you want to identify with. Whichever one, doesn't make me any difference. You want to be a pledge allegiance to the Moroccan Empire, more power to you. You want to be a Hebrew Israelite, more power to you. Narabe, a Rastafari, whatever you want to be, black man, I don't care, I love you. And I'm going to tell you that in every video, black man, I love you. And I love you enough that even though I might be able to use the word nigga for myself and still operate as a king, I'm not going to do it because I might hurt you. If I continue to call myself nigga and I continue to call you nigga, you might not ever see your royalty. So even though it might not affect me, it affects you. And since I love you, my brother, my king, I love you, king, I'm going to do what's best for the race and not just what's best for Mitchell Chance. So can a black man be a king and a nigga at the same time? Yes, it's possible. Is that beneficial for the race for us to still use that word in that way? I don't believe so. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all follow me on all social media, Chance Speaks. Check out the websites, videos, and blogs on there, mchancespeaks.com. And make sure you get your copy of the 6 A's of Manhood for African American Men. What I just went through is dealing with chapter 6 of this book, which is Stop Abdicating. And I should have dealt with that. Now let's talk about that for a quick second. Abdicate means to renounce one's throne. So when I stepped down from being a king and I become a nigga, I renounce my throne. And when I renounce my throne, I renounce my authority. And when I renounce my authority, somebody now picks up that authority and they now have authority over me. So one of the reasons why everybody has authority over the black man is because the black man has rather become a nigga than a king. And we have abdicated. We have given up our royalty. We have given up our throne. We've given up our power. We've given up our position of royalty. And since we've done that and we've exclusively identified as nigga and never as kings, then other people are reigning over our lives. So make sure you log on mchanspeaks.com. Order your copy of The 6 A's of Manhood for African American Men. Very powerful book, some bonus material in there. It's just going to help you to understand, and for women too also. For the men, it helps us to understand what it really means to be an African man. What it really means to wash your mind away from what the videos and the movies and the media has given you the image of what it means to be a man. And all of the time, those images are men that are going to, for one, not be race first, not help their people. And nowadays, they want you to be feminine, so you're not going to be an assertive, uncompromising, unapologetic black man. They don't want that. They don't want Malcolm X. They want D-Ray. You know, no shade to D-Ray, but I mean, they, you know, the white supremacists are more comfortable dealing with a feminine man than they are somebody, you know, of the stature of Malcolm X. And for the women, it's also a great read for you because, now I'm not putting the onus on you, but it helps the man, it helps raise up the men when the women understand the kind of man that they want and won't settle. One thing I know about men is men gonna do whatever they gotta do to get the woman that they love. And if our women stop accepting these niggas and only accept kings, they're going to force the niggas to come up and raise their stature to kings. So again, mchanspeaks.com. Log on, get your copy of Broken Pillars. There's a few other books on there. And if you don't go on there to purchase any books, just go on there, read the blogs, and watch some of the videos. If anybody got any comments or questions right now, I'll begin to talk to you know, some of you. And somebody asked me the movie I was talking about. I was in the middle of my discourse, but I saw it. The movie I was talking about was The Man with the Iron Mask with Leonardo DiCaprio. Really, really, really good movie, especially when you're thinking about what I was talking about and understanding what it means to be royalty, because the movie is a perfect imagery of learning how to be royalty. In one word, don't be no coon. Yeah. Yeah, don't be no coon, Duck. That's my main man, Duct Tape, in the building. Anybody got any questions? Go ahead and type real quick before I hit finish. Thank you, Natalie, for tuning in. I appreciate it. I appreciate you receiving these words. I know y'all type faster than that. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and finish the video now. Peace and love. If y'all want, y'all can continue with the questions and I'll comment back instead of talking back through the video. So Sawabona to my kings and queens. I love you all.